Jingle, jangle, and of course, with that being said, we are back. We're live, episode 2 of the Kangz Council, holiday edition. We got the lights, we got the snow. Hopefully you guys are all enjoying yourself, listening to the Council of Kangz. At least with these Kangz, you know you're safe and you're not gonna get aggravated assault, allegedly.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Never know.
Of course, introductions as they go. We got left to right or left center right. We got the homie Despair.
You're
And then of course we got Follow Your Dreams.
phenomenal. I'm dead.
And then it's your boy Super Freak back. And we're ready. We're ready to talk about the sentencing, not of the Kangz, of the GTA hacker that got life.
Sheesh.
Life.
Sheesh.
It's sorry, it's not funny, but it is funny. Life
funny.
in a hospital prison.
That's just funny.
Okay. Well, I should probably preface this. So yes, he did technically get life, but apparently it's more indefinite than life because apparently he hasn't been healed to come back to society from a mental standpoint. So I guess it's like it could be as long as a year, it could be for life, it could be until he gets his shit together. So it's like not like, oh, you're going to prison for life for murdering someone, but it's also like it's just dependent on his
They're gonna let him
mental status.
Behavior. Yeah. Let him go with some good behavior.
But you know, when he starts saying shit like even if you were gonna do those things, why the fuck are you saying, "Hey man, when I get home, I'm gonna do it"?
He's gonna do it again. So yeah, like look.
So
he's saying that now until they get him in there, and he fucking regrets that shit in 2 years, and he'll be on his best behavior, and they'll let him out.
I believe they asked.
I just want to preface that because at first I did some research. I was just like, "There's no way you're doing fucking like," because like. If that happened, I'm like, bro, at least let me murder someone. Like,
damn.
Bro, there are people who get charged for manslaughter that don't even get life, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it kind of just depends on the circumstances, right?
But
and
when
the
you
punishment.
when you got rock star lawyers, they're gonna make you suffer.
Jesus Christ.
It depends
well,
on who you fuck up.
Even that.
Depends on who you fuck over.
Yeah, it's probably not even that they wanted to make him suffer. It's that apparently this kid, he's like 18, right? Something like that.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's like 18, 19.
Very uncooperative. Like, he was in interviews basically saying, I'm going to do it again. And then when he was on release, because he was awaiting trial and sentencing, he was hacking even then. He was doing I think he was hacking like
in
a video
prison.
or something like that. Yeah, while he was on a laptop, while he was like...
Yeah.
I think he had Rockstar again with like an Amazon Fire Stick and a phone some other bullshit like that.
Maybe
that
dude
dude
just hire him.
Bro,
like,
you talented, stupid motherfucker. Like, bro, you can get a job. Like, just curb your enthusiasm.
He could get the job.
No,
he could get paid $10 million a year with the kind of skills that guy has.
People like that are usually the F the system guys. I don't want a fucking corporate job, blah blah blah. So I don't even think he'd want to do that. But like the thing is, depending on how rich you are, and what kind of lawyers you can get, you can sentence anybody to life. Like nobody gives a fuck about the law, bro. If you have the money, these lawyers are gonna do whatever they got to do. Like, so it don't matter. That motherfucker. I don't know. If I was him, well then I'm not him, right? I'm not. I don't have the mindset of let me just stick it to these guys. But like. If you go and hack Rockstar, bro, like at least before you go out, like hack somebody more relevant, bro. Like on the way to jail, bro, like hack somebody more relevant. like do something. Go out with a bang, bro. Not this shit. Like you leaked GTA 2 days before the fucking shit dropped or some shit. Like come on, bro. Like nobody cares.
Yeah, like it was gonna drop anyway. What's 12 hours of waiting?
like do something else. Damn.
No,
Oh,
actually,
you know,
I think this is the
that
guy
really
that hacked.
worth it?
No, I think this is the guy that hacked the GTA, not the trailer that leaked.
The
Remember
shit that leaked, like,
before
a year
that it
ago?
was like a year
Yeah.
ago that everything leaked.
Oh
That
yeah,
it was
the
it was like
alpha.
literally like an
Yeah.
alpha build kind of like
Well,
footage and stuff like that.
I don't know what he did it for because he's already forgotten. Like they already announced the game, they already got the attention, and nobody cares about this guy. So I hope it was
Nope.
worth it for him.
You never know what
But
that
it really
mindset,
wasn't
yeah.
though.
Like,
I
you're not some
just-
fucking
Life in
anonymous
hospital
fucking
prison?
hacker. Yeah.
Look, listen. If you're a hacker out there and you're listening to us, man, just use your skills for something like
If you're watching too many
blackmail
movies.
the real people in power. You know what I'm saying? Like or
Yeah.
whatever, or like rich people you like who have like stuff to lose. Why are you gonna
These guys be at home
waste this
watching too
skill
many
on a
movies.
video
Like, yeah, I'm
game?
gonna hack this motherfucker. Yeah, I'm gonna leak. Like, all right,
Leak
man.
leak unredacted government documents. You know,
Right.
like do something that's
Do
of
something that's gonna
substantial
cement you
weight. Yeah.
into like history or something. Not like, oh yeah, I hacked the video game company.
Fucking gamers, man. Oh, I hacked I've released some GTA footage or some Insomniac Wolverine footage. No, we don't care about that. I mean, we care about it because
Because-
it's games, but we don't care about that in the grand scheme of things of the world. Like,
Yeah. We care about it as like mild curiosity, but at the end of the day, it's like what are we gonna do? Not buy
But the thing
GTA
is,
6?
the thing about this is you're doing this for stuff that we already know is coming anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's not like here's the thing, right? You hack like Insomniac, right? And you get like, let's say they got something for a game that we didn't know about. Great. They would have eventually announced it anyway. We would have eventually know about it anyway, right? But you hack like a government document or some government policy, some shit. That shit that they would keep forever. We would never know. You know what I'm saying? So do like hack the shit hack shit that we're never gonna find out if otherwise. Like not GTA. Like we know GTA is coming. Like what the fuck did you do that shit for? So you could get some footage of the game in pre-alpha. Like what the fuck?
drop Putin's browser history.
Right?
Let's
Come on,
see
bro.
what's really going on.
Right. Or like, you know, hack a video of an interview with an alien or some bullshit like that. Something like
Right.
you know,
Bruh.
like that clearly the people of the world don't want the public to have access to. Like shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, that's a achievement, I
Weirdos.
think, you know. But
People got
yeah,
Such
man.
a bizarre target, right? Like Rockstar, Insomniac, Ubisoft. Like these are just bizarre. Like do something better. I'm sorry, I don't know. It just kind of weirds me out. Like I feel like if I had those talents, that's definitely not the first thing on my mind. But I don't know, man. Maybe it's the hunkering down and developing those talents is what left them kind of socially inept in that aspect of things. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Bruh, I would be like the Robin Hood of hackers, bro. I would just hack every single like not like super high millionaire, but like a tier 2 below, where like a leak would be fucking terrible. Like, you know, all those side girls they be watching on the backside or whatever. Like just blackmail the shit out of them, you know, for money, and then I don't know, use that money for something else. But you know, I don't know, man. It's kind of cool, but like. That Nintendo, you remember the one with the Nintendo where the dude has to pay him Nintendo money for life? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I still think about that. I still think
Nintendo
about that
was
one.
like, yeah, we gonna get these motherfuckers. That's
What if
God.
what if he doesn't earn anything? That's I don't know, man. Like
Well,
Nintendo.
they're gonna have him,
find something,
in the
bro.
fucking in the Nintendo.
Is it like
offices,
is it
the
like
dungeon
alimony
underneath.
where it's like, well, if you don't earn anything, you don't owe us anything, but whatever the fuck you earn, you're paying us.
They're just gonna lock him up in the dungeon underneath the Nintendo headquarters,
Definitely. Yeah.
And beat him with a spiked bat.
right?
The deepest, darkest
Throw him
dungeon.
down. They're gonna
They're gonna
him into the
throw a
green pipe.
Koopa shell.
Yeah. They're gonna shove his ass down a green pipe. He's gonna end up underneath the fucking offices. Damn.
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
He got
Some people just got
And
time on
that's-
their hands, I guess.
yeah, that's
And it's
I'm
like
just,
I know a lot of people do stuff like that, right? So they can test the limits of like their skills and shit. But go aim higher, bro.
Yeah, this is
But
not
the
a hot
thing
target.
is- but no, no.
Like, let me see if I can do this, right?
yeah.
Like,
But the thing is, like, if I were to hack, I wouldn't announce shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if I did it as a test, I
Yeah.
would just do it as a test. because the part of the reason he probably got caught is because he leaked the shit himself. If he kept the shit to himself, they probably been like, "Oh, someone."
Yep, he wanted the clout.
Yeah, he wanted the clout, and then
to be fair,
for
though,
what?
I'm sure even if he didn't, there's ways they could have tracked that shit. And it's like, if you're gonna get caught anyway, you might as well just try to get some clout, right? If you're gonna get caught anyway, if like I'm sure he knew eventually, like he was gonna get caught. So like he was like, all right, let me just put this shit out now. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, which goes back to like
there's no
what we
way
talked
you could
about
do
before.
that. Yeah, there's no way you could do that and not like try to get something out of it.
Yeah,
because you're gonna get traced. They're gonna find out who did it,
and that kind of goes back to like why, like, at least what we talked about before is like why they won't go after the bad guys, quote unquote. It's like they're gonna get traced and murdered, you know.
Yeah,
like they're gonna, they're probably afraid because they know that the things that they do leaves a footprint, right? Like,
and if they did some government, I'm sure there's people that try to hack like government shit every day, and they get caught, and they don't say nothing, they just get off somewhere, they just drive them out to the fucking desert and shoot them in the head or something. Like,
or they get like arrested for something minor, but then get stuff added to their sentence for life. You know, like it's just.
Yep, probably never hear about it.
Yeah, you never hear about it. You're never going to be posted. So they do something.
No missing persons, no nothing. They just get them out of here.
They do something low risk, high reward for clout, and that's why the gaming industry is probably
over some gaming leaks.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that seems to be the trend nowadays because they're going after. They went after Rockstar. They went after Insomniac, and that was like they actually asked for like ransomware. They had ransomware, right?
Yeah, that was good. That was god. That was sick.
That was just like, hey man, we're gonna we hacked you. Send us $2 million.
Give me some money,
or your shit is just getting dropped to the internet. And
they weren't playing.
Insomniac's like, you don't have shit. They
we don't know if Insomniac paid them. We don't know. We honestly don't know if Insomniac paid them or not.
They didn't pay him because they shit leaked.
Hey man, you don't know that. If I hack Insomniac and I'm just like, yo, pay me $2 million, your shit's getting leaked. They pay me, I'm gonna be like, this shit's still getting leaked. Bam. You know what I mean? Like, they could have did that too. We don't know if any money was exchanged. You know,
I want to be able to hold leverage over them. I wouldn't take the money and still hack it. That's leverage. Fuck no.
Yeah.
It's true, but like
I don't think that's the right way to go about it.
You know? We really don't know. But and then now, like Ubisoft was just recently targeted for apparently 900 gigabytes of data. I mean, next is EA, I guess. They need to.
Nah, well, EA. I'd rather EA than Ubisoft. Nah, they're gonna hack like fucking. Some random ass, like they're gonna hack. What's the No Man's Sky devs? They're gonna hack some indie fucking devs or something. Like,
they're not gonna get any money from that though.
How do you go from Rockstar to Insomniac to Ubisoft? Like, this is like you're like going down. Like, don't get me wrong, Insomniac's got like, but still, they're not Rockstar. They're just like going down of fucking the stairs of relevance.
Well, not only that, but like Ubisoft probably just dropped the game that was probably of value from them.
What they're gonna like Division
within the
3
next year or two.
Fucking
right.
The next Assassin's Creed game that we already know is gonna come out. Like,
yeah, we were joking off the stream, but we were like, yeah. So the hacker was in there for probably like 2 hours and didn't know what the fuck to steal. And he was
nothing
like,
relevant.
There was nothing relevant, you know, other maybe than like employees' data.
Bullshit.
There's like nothing to steal from. What are you gonna steal from Ubisoft? What did they get?
They're gonna find out what the fuck happened to the what the fuck was the game?
They got the next 6 months of For Honor DLC planning.
Yeah, right. Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Skull and Bones.
We know that shit is canceled. Beyond Good and Evil 2. Yeah.
They're gonna go try to find Beyond Good and Evil 2, but it's not even gonna be there. It's not even gonna exist. It never existed.
It never existed. It never existed at all. That game is never coming out. I'm convinced.
Oh,
they should just cancel it. I don't know why. You know, it's a whole...
I mean, they didn't cancel Skull and Bones, and it's still here. So
I don't know why.
Apparently, it's dropping.
Yeah, that was over a decade ago. So I won't give them. I'm not gonna say Beyond Good and Evil 2 is canceled when they could still put out.
I'm pretty sure they know that shit is a hot L.
Yeah.
I know they know it's a hot L, so they're just pushing it out the door now at this point.
Yeah, because the thing is, that time passed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for that game for sure. But even for Beyond Good and Evil 2, even if they were working on the game this entire time, there's no amount of sales that game would have to make that would recoup its cost. There's no way.
I mean, I don't think it costs anything if it doesn't exist. If it didn't exist until like I'm sure most of these games, like they don't start like I highly doubt that game was even in development when it was probably like in fucking concept stages when they announced it. Like I highly doubt
but
that game existed. But
yeah, but even that CG trailer cost probably like $1 million, $2 million to fucking make. You know what I mean?
I doubt it. I don't know. Like when you do shit like
it's
that,
still an investment. It's
of
still
course
like,
it is. Yeah, of course it is. But I don't know. That game, whatever. Skull and Bones, I don't understand why that game. They should have just scrapped that and then gave us fucking Beyond Good and Evil 2. Why the fuck is that game even coming out? Unless didn't they say that they're remaking like Black Flag or some shit like that too? That's the only way they're gonna at least give some type of relevance to that game. But nobody even cares about Black Flag anymore. So what the fuck?
No.
Like, that was the time to do it. That's when people wanted it. They didn't give it. Nobody cares. I'd love to see how this game does.
You know, I guess that's the benefit of like being on the lowest on the totem pole. It's just like, you know, like what are you gonna do? You can't hurt Ubisoft more than they've already been.
They hurt themselves,
like,
yeah.
So,
Like,
but
I heard Avatar
you know,
was great. So hopefully,
yeah, I
they'll
heard
start
it's
realizing.
decent. Yeah,
I heard it gets rid of a lot of the Ubisoft fucking tropes that they always have in their games with the bullshit ass collectathon, fucking flooded menus, all that shit. So hopefully it's a step in the right direction because it's doing really good. So
I mean, hopefully they stay in that direction and, you know, keep going there. And
they did Assassin's Creed
give
Mirage,
us,
which is not, you know, kind of reverted back to the old Assassin's Creed formula. So hopefully they're learning and going back to the shit that they actually were good at doing. Like,
hopefully they give us another Splinter Cell. You know what I mean?
Like,
yeah, the Prince of Persia game looks cool actually,
like,
but we were looking forward to that for a minute.
Yeah, but it's also like the other Assassin's Creed projects that they have. Like that's something I guess the hackers could have got information on. All the like upcoming Assassin's Creed projects that they're working on. It's like, but for what? It's all Assassin. Yeah, it's all like, that's the thing about like Ubisoft stuff. It's all like samey. I don't want to say the same. It's samey.
We know what to expect from Ubisoft until they start showing us something different. Like,
even Avatar, even though it looks great, it's like Avatar was what were they saying that it was
Avatar
Far Cry?
Also got announced like 1 billion years ago. Like this game got announced a long time ago.
This game like finally came out. You know, I'm just glad it's getting some like at least decent reviews or praise, and you know,
I'm glad it's good because it would be a shame for an Avatar. Like I was thinking to myself, I was like, damn, I'm not hyped for this game. Like, and it would be a shame to make a bad Avatar game. Like, don't get me wrong, it's obviously possible. Licensed games are usually bad, but I'm glad it's good though because I do like the IP.
At least graphically, it looks like they got their like top team working on it or have worked on it because this is apparently like the new Crisis.
Yo, James Cameron would have went through those doors and fucking like what the fuck?
I couldn't imagine an Avatar game looking bad. Like James Cameron wouldn't allow that shit. That would be crazy.
Like this game is like looking super good. Apparently there's things that you could unlock for like best performance of it possible that are not like known or not in the settings. Like you have to kind of go deeper. I don't know. There's a lot.
Future proof.
But I guess we'll hear more news of whatever information they got of that, and probably in the coming days. So if it's anything worth a note, we'll report it. But you know, other than that, I don't expect anything huge other than like maybe like employee information, you know, shit like that. That's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, anything like that's kind of like weird. I mean, it's 900 gigs though. 900 gigs could be. It sounds like a lot, but that shit could be just like high quality texture packs, and you know what I mean? Like, like think about it though. Like if you're thinking about it, like 900 gigs is like 3 Call of Duty downloads. Like
500 of those gigs could be literally just Avatar files.
Yeah.
Well, you know, but just by comparison, so this Ubisoft thing was 900 gigs, and I think the Insomniac, the Insomniac shit was about 1.6 something terabytes. So I mean, yeah. So so just by, and you know how much shit we got out of that already. So yeah.
But it doesn't always like correlate, like
translate. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, man. It's hacking is running rampant. I mean, 'tis the season for hacking. I guess people are home because it's cold, so they're just on their computers. Tell you who else is coming home for Christmas. Bobby Kotick.
Oh Lord.
He's leaving
with half $500 million.
He is leaving Activision Blizzard When did he announce it? For December 29th?
Yep.
The 29th, right? What day is that? Let me see if there's a business thing to this.
That's gonna be a crazy.
It's like a Friday, right? Like that's what it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's literally like the last business day of the year. Yeah. You ain't slick, Bobby.
$500 million. What the fuck, bro?
Godspeed.
$500 million, my guy.
Yo, so imagine you fuck up like horribly, and then you get $500 million for it. Like, man, I don't know, man. That's just
a different price bracket, bro.
Yeah, they got to give you that for leaving anyway. So whether he fucked up or not, he would have had to get that, right? Because that's just what happened. But like, damn.
yeah, but I like how the best of these like that's just how the world works.
It is, unfortunately, right? That's just how it is.
Yeah. But it's just like, man.
Let me cut you a nice severance package. Boom. Like
in the business world, listen, it doesn't matter what the public thinks about you as long as it doesn't affect business. And they had that whole issue.
Oh, his shit definitely affected business.
Let me cut you guys.
Really,
nice
if they left them on,
package.
they're just like, we'll just leave you on, and then you cook.
None of his shit really affected.
Yeah, nothing. No, after that, it didn't affect things past like a month or something.
None of the
like
shit
that.
they do affects any of their business. Their shit's still thriving.
Call of Duty still thriving.
Selling.
Overwatch
Microsoft
is still pumping out loot boxes.
Yeah. Like, I'm sure there's millions of people that have no idea what the fuck is
Diablo
going
still
on.
Diabloing, putting out the fucking Diablo Inferno and shit like that.
Yeah,
that just happened recently too. Like,
yeah. It just it affects like perception amongst people that are on the internet, but most people don't even know what the fuck even happened. So, whatever. They're gonna hire new people that don't even give a fuck about what happened to the last employees that were there. They're just gonna be grateful for a job.
The regular Call of Duty, casual Call of Duty, FIFA, NFL 2K gamer or whatever, they're hearing this and they're just like,
Let me give you an example.
Who's Bobby?
When they tried to change the dude's name in Overwatch, fucking McCree, everyone's like, no, his name is Cassidy now. I'm like, bro, I still call him McCree because that's just what I know the character, right? Like, and most people still do.
Have it.
Like, the only people that are calling him that are people is because that's his name in the game now. You see that in the game now. But anybody that played that game before is probably still calling him McCree. Like, nobody cares. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying that it's not shitty, but it's just unfortunate that the majority of that shit existed on the internet. Like, nobody IRL really knows about any of this shit.
That's a similar situation to I don't know if you guys watch Sesame Street, and apparently they were trying to rename the Cookie Monster to the Veggie Monster or some bullshit like that. And I was just like, in my head, yeah, exactly. That reaction that you just had for me, like even though, like, I see what they're thinking, right? Because cookies are mad unhealthy for kids, right? Let's be real, right? Cookies are the most. But the thing is, the Cookie Monster.
That's why they love them, though. Like, come on, bro.
But it's like, bro, it's the Cookie Monster. Imagine they tried.
If they're gonna name him Veggie Monster, they're gonna have to give him some glasses and teach him how to actually speak properly. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he's a monster, bro.
Right?
like you have to understand. If kids are supposed to be quote unquote afraid of monsters, and he's a cookie monster, so he's a monster that only eats
kids
cookies.
love cookies.
It's not promoting cookie eating. It's saying like this is a monster that you can't be afraid of because he only eats cookies, not children.
Or
you know what I mean?
This is a monster you become if you eat cookies.
Yes,
Look,
yeah,
bro,
it works both ways, right?
Look, bro, kids aren't that developed yet. Kids love cookies. They see Cookie Monster eating cookies.
It's true.
Easy.
I fuck with Cookie Monster 100%.
Yeah,
I fuck with him.
Like, come on.
Like you mess with him and you mess with the count. I'm throwing hands. That's all. You leave the count alone.
Talk about the real problem here. It is the parents, because my daughter loves Cookie Monsters. You know what she doesn't fucking eat? Cookies. You know what I mean? Like,
let's be real, bro. Like, if your biggest problem is cookies, something's wrong. unless you're like diabetic or something. Like, let's be real, bro. Like, what's wrong with cookies? Unless that's all you eating. Unless you're literally a Cookie Monster. Like,
no. To be fair though, when I was a kid, I was a candy monster, bro.
Yeah,
like,
so was I. But like,
it was terrible. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know.
Everything in
kids are very
regulation.
easily influenced.
Everything in moderation, bro.
Yeah, but when you're a kid, you don't. What the fuck is regulation?
Yeah, but that's not up to you. That's up to your parents.
Veggie Monster is crazy. I bet vegans were going wild.
I mean,
so you're saying we're monsters?
But if you're gonna do that shit, just at least introduce a new character. Hey man, it's Cookie Monster's cousin,
Yeah,
fucking the
true.
Veggie Monster. Don't
It's
rename
Sesame
someone
Street,
who's
bro.
been in fucking the streets for 30, 40, 50 years.
The street.
Fucking-
Yeah, Sesame Street.
Sesame
It
Street.
does qualify as a street.
He been out here,
Yes.
bro.
That's what I'm saying. He been out here eating cookies, bro. You can't just be like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna call you the Veggie
That's hella
Monster."
funny.
He's not even fucking green. He's blue.
You're gonna have to fucking retell his whole life story. Like, man, he ate so many cookies. This is what happened. Like,
I eat cookies.
Now he's on the up and up.
But
He only eats.
I have
now.
veggie balls.
The
And
doctor-
veggie balls.
The doctor told me I'm diabetic, so I can't have cookie.
Right?
Like
Yeah,
that's,
it's just like,
Ain't no
come on,
kid trying to hear
bro. No one. I'm not trying to hear that. Fuck a kid.
Like, yeah, but at least as an adult, you understand it. As a kid, it's like, I just want
Yeah.
my cookies.
my kid just learned to identify him by Cookie. I say, "Who's this?" She goes, "Cookie." I go, "Yes, good." I gotta say,
because let's be
now I
real,
gotta
he's
say,
funny as
"No,
shit.
Veggie." Like, come on now. Yeah, he's funny. Like
bro,
Sesame
the
Street is
kids don't
great.
like him because he's eating cookies. Niggas like him because he's funny as fuck. The hell?
Sesame, Sesame
He's
Street is
just stupid.
actually fucking solid, great content
Yeah.
if you pay attention to it. You know what I mean? Like that's.
No, Sesame Street is great, by the way. Like, if you're a parent,
He
I
can
love
be
Sesame
He can be
Street,
eating
bro.
some meat and kids will still love him because it's
Yeah.
funny.
There's so
Pause.
much that they bring light to that.
Eating
You know what it
meatballs.
is? Parents don't like it. You know what I mean? They got like autistic people, like autistic puppets now in Sesame Street. They got all kinds of people with like divorced parents
that's
and
fine.
problems and
There's nothing
like you
wrong
know
with
what I
that,
mean?
though. But,
Like,
like,
it's
they
bringing
just make
light
new
to a lot of
characters.
things. Yeah, exactly.
Like-
Like, that's what they have been doing, and it's like
Yeah, like
they
that's
should
fine.
just do that. Don't rename Cookie Monster. Like give him a cousin who's
Yeah,
healthy.
make a new character.
you know?
Exactly. Make a new character. You gotta do.
Give him
You
a
don't have to-
skinny
yeah,
cousin.
and then, you know,
With glasses.
skinny cousin, and then you be like,
Cookie Monster's not.
"Yeah,
He's not
Cookie,
like Cookie Monster's fat. Or
Cookie,
something. He's just
Cookie,
a blue
you should
He's just a blue.
you should probably eat a little bit of
blanket.
leaves.
Like there's nothing
just a
even like there's
blanket.
nothing negative about Cookie Monster. They didn't do some grimy shit
No.
and make him super fat or something like that. They didn't do any of that. He's just a blue motherfucker that
just-
likes cookies. Like that's it.
He's just
Let him
he's
be.
he, honestly, if you look at Cookie Monster, he's impulsive. He has a little bit of a fucking problem. He
He's
might
probably
be
the least
addicted
annoying
to
character on
cookies.
Sesame
He,
Street.
he might have a substance issue, and that substance is cookies.
cookies,
He
but
hates.
hello?
Listen, he's
Rather
super
be
into
cookies than
edibles.
drugs?
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
Like he's.
rather be cookies than drugs. Like let's be real.
Hey man, what are those cookies
Well,
made with? We
well,
don't know.
we don't know what kind of
But
cookie.
we don't know that.
We don't know that.
We don't know that. Like, I mean, they're addicting as fuck, so they got there's something in them shits. Like, well, obviously sugar, but like,
I just want to know where he's getting all the
So-
cookies from and what he works, what he does for work.
Oh,
'cause
I mean,
to
he
buy all
got
those
the
cookies.
cookie dealers
nigga, he's
on
a
the
cookie
streets.
monster. He be fucking stealing them shits. Come on, bro.
He be fucking
out
people
here.
up. Cookie.
I'll tell you
Yo,
that.
bro.
Right?
I did not see us going in this direction.
All those
but-
characters on Sesame Street, he has them all on a list of people that he has to extort for cookies, bro. That's it.
How the fuck did we get? Oh, it was me.
I don't even know, but
Well,
it's
it
fucking
was
hilarious.
just like we were talking about
But
something, and then we talked about
The
What the
Ubisoft
fuck
leaks.
yeah, the Ubisoft
We were
leaks. and then,
talking.
we talked about Bobby Kotick, and then things getting like changed for like society, I guess,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
like,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. We were talking about how they changed
Yeah.
fucking
I mean,
Overwatch or whatever.
look, good riddance that he's gone. You know, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the whole Call of Duty and stuff is going to be interesting in the next few years because Microsoft owns that shit, and they have to make a play to cut PlayStation out of that shit. They just kind of have to, or something.
Maybe
They gotta do something,
probably.
bro. I don't
I think
know.
they could just
I don't
gonna
know if you read
naturally
that.
work it to the Game Pass. The thing is, like, they wanted. I think that what they want to do is work
They
it to the
said
Game Pass.
It will be next year. Just they
But
said
they
not
don't-
this year.
But they
Like,
also don't want to because that's a big revenue stream. So they have to work out the logistics of like how much are we going to lose if we put it on the Game Pass versus how much do we gain. You
would
know what I
not put
mean?
that on the Game Pass.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it in the Game
I wouldn't
Pass
put it on the
either.
Game Pass. But that's the thing. If you don't put it on the Game Pass, then that puts less of a strain on Sony because it still gives the gamer the option to say like, "Hey, I either buy it on
No.
Xbox or buy it on PlayStation." You know?
No, because if they cut out if they just make it exclusive to Xbox, they don't gotta worry about that.
They could just make it exclusive, but I think that part of the deal and agreement of it being passed was like they made an agreement of like letting it be on
getting
PlayStation.
A revenue
right?
share of a game that's $70.
Well,
sell
also
every year is not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
Also,
I'm not saying
to
that.
be fair, they could probably make the PlayStation version of it just shittier than the Xbox.
Nah, they don't have to do that because
they
then
don't
that would be so negative for them. Like, but
Yeah.
the thing is, right? Like, they don't have to do shit. Like, they get a cut of the shit regardless of where it goes. Like, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
They get a
I
cut of
guess
it.
so.
Like,
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's
You know what I'm
true. It's
saying?
like
They don't gotta do
when
anything,
Sony came
like-
out with Blu-ray, and then
yeah.
you know what I mean. Like,
So yeah,
if you own the property,
cut.
you get a cut. You know, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it's a wrap. They don't gotta do shit. They'll be alright.
Yeah.
Especially they own. It's like they own like every fucking IP under the sun now, and then like half of them are gonna die off in the fucking sunset. Can't wait to see what happens to Crash
Apparently,
Bandicoot.
there's rumors out. Because Phil Spencer made a statement, so people are obviously taking this and running with it. So it's heavily grain of salt. Like, don't take this and be like, oh, that's what's gonna happen. It's more like, hey, like this is based on a statement. He said that if the Game Pass isn't successful, that Microsoft is getting out of the gaming by like 2029 or some shit like that.
I think they said, didn't they say?
2025,
Getting out of-
2029, something like that.
Yeah,
I don't remember what year it was, but they're like potentially exiting the console space or gaming space.
Is that how?
I think so. I don't recall. Hold on.
I thought he.
I read something like it, but
I could have sworn he said that
Let me
they took a
find out.
risk with Game Pass, and if Game Pass didn't work out, then they would have exited the gaming business.
yeah.
I thought that's what it was.
But didn't the Game Pass work out? I mean, is the Game Pass working out? I feel like it is.
It is, but I feel like they still have a lot to work on because there are some games that come out that they put on Game Pass that they're losing money. Of course, like that they could have just charged full price for or whatever. But the thing is right.
Mhm.
I don't think they need to be in the console business.
Yeah.
I think me personally, obviously as a PC guy, right, I would just rather them just put all their efforts into just making everything
In the
and put it on
PC.
PC, right? And if you're gonna have Game Pass, like make Game Pass, like keep doing what you're doing with Game Pass. Put that shit on like phones, fucking TVs, TV apps, fucking
Mhm.
shit. Put it on PlayStation. Put it on everything.
Bro,
like
I'm
put Game Pass
telling you.
everywhere. Like,
Xbox needs to come out with an
Make a
Xbox
subscription.
Game Pass like Fire
they're gonna be
Stick,
the
bro.
first. They're gonna be the first. The Xbox Cloud shit is already good, and they're
Yeah.
already investing more into cloud stuff. So all they need to do is just make that. They're probably gonna be the first to step into that cloud gaming shit. Obviously, we had State and we have the PlayStation shit, but let's be real, that shit's ass. But they're probably gonna be the first ones to make it where it's not ass and people actually want to use.
You
like,
just need to
cloud
make
gaming
it.
services.
You
'Cause
just need to
their
make it
Xbox
affordable
Cloud
and
shit-
casual on a hardware
It's in
perspective.
Game Pass. It's $15 or is it
Yeah.
$20?
I
think it's $20
16 or
for
something like
Ultimate?
that for Ultimate
Yeah,
16.
for Ultimate, like, come on, let's be real. That's a
Right.
steal.
But I have a quote here. So it's from gamingbible.com. I don't know how legitimate they are, but it says the headline of the
the hell is- I
article
don't know, never
is
heard of that
Xbox may exit the gaming business by 2027, says Phil Spencer. And it says, apparently Xbox holds its subscription service in high regard, with head of Xbox himself, Phil Spencer, predicting that if subscribers aren't what they need to be by 2027, it could mark the end of Microsoft's activity in the gaming business. So just gaming overall.
That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right at all. Like, where's the quote from that? Where's the Phil Spencer quote? I need to.
I could send you the link, but I don't know where the Phil Spencer quote is from. If I looked,
Like, did he actually say that?
it's a good thing. I heard this from somewhere else this week, but looking
That
it
sounds a
up,
bit egregious to just say that they're gonna exit the gaming business altogether. That's a little.
I mean,
much.
it doesn't surprise me. And like I said, like it is a rumor, but it's also something like it's like when
Exiting the console business, sure, but
Microsoft-
the gaming business doesn't sound right.
But when we because we've kind of like looked at this in the past, like looking at Microsoft's revenue, right, and where they're like getting most of their money from and what percentages the gaming part is. Like if they were just to say like fuck it, we're just not gonna invest in the gaming because it's like not where we want it to be, like it's only like I think 17%. It was some wildly low percentage of Microsoft's like profit margins or something like that. Like where they don't we know they don't really care about it, and if they did, it'd be like an outrageous, like it wouldn't even be a competition. If they wanted a monopoly, it'd be a monopoly.
Yeah, but it's really weird because like you're not gonna exit the gaming business after spending billions of dollars on acquisition. Like you're not gonna exit the gaming business. Like you can exit the console business, which I'm pretty sure is gonna happen regardless of anyway. Like I'm calling it now. Like we're not gonna have physical consoles next. Maybe it might not be next generation, but the generation after, it would be silly to just keep making these fucking boxes.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we got an Xbox Cloud Stick. I actually would kind of like welcome it, because if it's something like if I could pay $50 or like let's say like $70, $75, the price of a game where I get like a Cloud Stick and a controller, like an Xbox controller. And you're telling me I could sign up for your service subscription and play my games on this shit and it'd be like solid? I'd totally do that.
That's why I said we have that already.
They just need to like market it, like you know what I mean. Put it in a package, put it out there.
They keep saying it's in beta.
Yeah, it's still in beta. Okay. It is.
Like it actually, I tried it. It's great.
It works.
Like, I played Halo online in multiplayer matches. It is not bad.
It works.
So like. That's
what they're waiting for.
It's a race to that. It's a race to that though, because somebody's got to do it, right? Sony spent money acquiring shit, fucking, do cloud gaming. Fucking Nintendo was rumored to be doing it themselves. Yeah. Fucking Xbox is doing it. One of them has to be out the gate first to fucking start the movement, and I have a feeling it's probably gonna be Microsoft. But like, I've always heard that. I've always thought like it doesn't really make sense for Microsoft to be in the console business. Like their consoles, especially when they have like their games are actually, well, they'll have exclusives now, right? Because they're acquiring all these fucking shit. But
yeah, I mean, we're not going to see the fruits of that labor until like maybe 2 years from now.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, but that's a short amount of time for like game release. 2 years is nothing. But like, if you think about it, they don't really. Why are they in the console business? Like, I mean, like, I don't mean like making console games. I mean like. Making those
producing
boxes,
consoles,
like,
making
like,
the hardware.
Why are they in that business? Yeah, like when they have PCs, why are they in this business? Like, just because you know what, man, they're in that business because it sells a lot. It obviously making somebody spend money on a goddamn $600, $700, $800 and up PC, right, is different than having that box. That's just it works, right? Buy it, you put a game in there, it works maybe most of the time, right? Because nowadays, shit, we get Star Wars and all other motherfucking shit. But like, I don't know.
Well, I think about it when you put it that way, it kind of recalls me thinking about when they first announced the Xbox Series X and S, and everyone was like, "Oh, well, why make two?" And in retrospect, obviously hindsight's 2020. Everyone's kind of saying like that the Series S is a hindrance on this generation because developers have had to like downscale. I think that's bullshit. I think that's a dev's excuse, because it's like you do that for PC anyway. Why do you have to? You know what I mean?
don't because the floor shouldn't be lower.
I do agree that it does lower the floor, but the floor is already low on the PC end with like when you're recommended or your minimum. Yeah, but when you're putting your minimum specs that are like recently, this generation of games, minimum specs has listed 1060s. Before they were like 960s, 970s. Those are age-old GPUs. Like
those are 1060.
Well, yeah, but if you look at the stats on the 1060, the 1060 was the mostly it was the mostly used GPU like on Steam for a while. Like now, just recently, like as far as Steam statistics go.
But that makes sense though, because the previous most used graphics card was the GTX 970.
Yeah, but that's not. Yeah, I'm not. That's But my point being is that if that is the most used and that's what the target is for PC scalability, then scaling something down. Because
that doesn't mean that should be the target though.
But I think we could agree that the console, the Series S, outperforms the 1060. No.
Probably, but that doesn't matter. Like it's the fact that the floor is lower, and like,
but I think
it isn't like comparing that to PC. You can't scale shit on like a person can't scale a game to tailor to their own PC. Like they can't scale an Xbox. You can't buy a game for Xbox Series S and say, oh yeah, man, this game's too powerful for my Series S. Let me turn some settings down. You can't do that. Like
no, you can't.
The devs have to make that game able to run on the Series S. You don't necessarily have to make a game run on a 1060.
No, you just have to set the scale though.
Yeah, Cyberpunk not running on a 1060 unless you turn all the settings to low and fucking cap it at 30 FPS or and fucking all this other shit, which, let's be real, they didn't do. Cyberpunk devs didn't do that shit, clearly, right? But games, like, you can do that for like maybe a game that like a Call of Duty, right? Yeah. You can make a Call of Duty run on that. Actually, Call of Duty barely runs on a 1060. But
Call of Duty's been what people don't realize is that Call of Duty's actually been downscaled on consoles for years. That's the reason why it runs at 60 FPS. Like they've had technology in their engine.
It makes sense, right? Because those are the kind of games you want everybody to be able to play. But there are a lot of the games, like I want to see games that like push shit forward without having to worry about, we need to scale for down for the fucking what's it called?
Games that want to push things forward. But
consoles already hold PCs back.
I think that I think that the devs like kind of targeting it is saying like, oh, this is the reason why our game is shit. Like Gotham Knights, for example. No, your game is just, you know what I mean? That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. I think
it is kind of like stifling.
But my whole point, right? We got heavily sidetracked. But my whole point out of that was that when the Series S and Series X was announced, the way that they announced the Series S, they announced it with like a financing plan where it's like, oh, you can pay like this amount a month and you get a Series S, you get a Game Pass, and you get everything that comes with that, right? And it's like that's a tremendous value for those that can't afford a PC. That get into the gaming market, that can play like day one release games, regardless of how downscaled they may be, right? But I think it emphasized it.
It's just a cheaper console.
To that point. Exactly. It made it easier. And I think that's the whole thing of that, I don't want to say scalability, but just that whole, giving the variance of choice and entry points of price value for people.
I'm not a fan.
Because if there are some people that says, like, I have $500, I could get a budget gaming PC, and it's like, sure, it's probably not going to be very good, but is it better than Series S, Series X?
Probably.
You know what I mean? Probably, but at the same time, convenience, right? Package, plug and play ability, things like that.
You don't have to make.
It's always
I get the argument. I get the argument, but like, you don't have to make a cheaper console for it to be accessible like that. The console, like, I get it, but I don't know. Like, consoles are already cheaper than your average PC. And you can already, Microsoft had the payment plan shit, but every fucking retailer has that themselves already. Like, any retailer you go to probably has some option for you to do that anyway. Like,
I'm gonna bring it back around now, because I'm gonna bring it back around because what you were saying about why Microsoft is even in the console space is that I think that's why they're in the console space. Because it's like, here's an avenue where we can just get more money from people who are poorer in a poorer price bracket to get from that, because we weren't getting that from the PC avenue. Now here's an avenue that we can get it from more people.
That's not our job, so to speak, to argue the money making aspect of it.
Like, I'm just saying, like, that's what you were saying is what like, brought me out.
Of course they do it to make money, but they're losing money on. They've been, I forgot what it was. They were losing money for like every fucking console that they sold. So like, clearly that isn't it's not working. Like, what the Xbox Series S to me, that shit was just to get more Game Pass subscribers. That's it. And getting more Game Pass subscribers doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to continue focusing on consoles, right? They could just be wanting to get more Game Pass subscribers, so they can just get rid of the consoles altogether and just be like, oh, here's Game Pass on whatever device you own, and then boom. Like, that's what I would do. Like, if I didn't want to make consoles anymore, which personally, if I was one of these companies, I wouldn't want to make consoles. Like, you can sell it for $500, right? Get the normies to buy consoles for $400. But if I was Microsoft, when I have Windows, all this shit, all this stuff already, I'm trying to get motherfuckers buying my PCs, my laptops. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, that's what I'm trying to do.
And what from what you said before, like, I absolutely agree. It seems like they've been moving in the direction to get people away from the console space and move more towards the PC space. Yeah, they want everybody on Game Pass. So I can agree where it's just like, well, then what did Phil Spencer really mean if he made that statement? Because, like, are they getting out of gaming overall?
think
or
about
just
it
the
this
console
way.
space. You know?
Sony kind of needs PlayStation. PlayStation is a huge
Yeah.
fucking part of their fucking
I mean,
shit.
it's part of
Like,
their major share now.
Yeah, exactly.
Now I think now it just became that. Yeah.
It's not like Nintendo, where Nintendo is just a traditional, they just make games, right? They just make game consoles, they do this, they have merchandise, they have all this fucking money off of their own shit, right? That's not like, and Microsoft, they could afford to not give a fuck about a fucking Xbox. They don't have to give a shit about that thing. Like, that's why I feel like they're gonna start, if anyone's gonna make the push to like cloud gaming and all that shit, it's gonna be them. And hopefully it's good, because I don't want to buy no goddamn. Look at this big ass PS5, man. This shit ugly as a motherfucker. I don't want to have this shit here, man. Like, I remember when I bought the original
I can't
Xbox
wait
One.
to be done with consoles for like forever, legit. Like
Yeah,
I'm
like
over
Freak
it.
said, right? I want to be able to get a goddamn stick, plug that shit into my PC, and then I'll have that's my Xbox right there. Like,
Yeah,
plug
right?
it into my
Like-
TV or whatever. Yeah.
Well, like I think we're not. I don't think we're there yet, but I can see the vision. We're close. We're on the cusp.
I think two generations.
we
I
can
think we're
taste
two
it.
Oh, you want to
generations
play
away.
PlayStation games on your PC? Here, buy this stick. That's like $100 or $150, and just plug
I
it into your
would
PC.
happily buy
Boom.
that shit.
Like, oh, you want to play Xbox games on your PC? Boom, buy this stick, plug it into your computer. Boom.
you want Nintendo? No, Nintendo's never going that route. They're gonna
Nintendo
stay-
doesn't have to go that route. They don't have to.
They don't
Like,
have to.
They're the only ones that it makes sense. Like, that's their business.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I can't even say that anymore because their business is they make more money off fucking merchandise and all other shit than anything. Like,
Yeah.
now
Well,
they're
no,
going to the movies and everything.
their business
Like-
is movies now.
Yeah, now, like, those motherfuckers, look, man, they could do whatever they got to do. I don't care what Nintendo does, because the thing about it is, me personally, Nintendo consoles are the only things that are justified for me. Because I can play PlayStation games on the PC, I can play Xbox games on the PC eventually, right? Like, Nintendo, it's like, I got to buy a Nintendo console, right? Because most of those games are not going to be on PC. So, like, if anything, if it makes more sense to be in the business, it's definitely them. Because they have shit on lock. Like, oh, these motherfuckers are going to buy Zelda. They're going to buy Smash. They're going to buy Mario. So let's just keep making consoles.
They're
Xbox
gonna-
is like, what do they have? Like, Xbox doesn't have shit. As
I mean,
much as
nothing
people
of
want to
value,
argue,
really.
they don't have shit. Like,
I mean, even the PlayStation 5, you could argue, didn't really have anything until like.
yeah, but at
literally
least they
this
do
year.
have shit. At least they had Demon Souls. At least they had Ratchet. At least they had Returnal. Like, they had a game. They had reasons to buy the console. Like, whether it was your reason or not, sure. But, like, they still had reasons for people to buy the console. Like, Xbox, what's the reason to buy that box? There's nothing that you can't get anywhere else. So that's the main thing. Like, you can't get Demon Souls anywhere. Can't get what's it called? Fucking Ratchet anywhere else. PC doesn't count. Like, you can't get God of War Ragnarok anywhere else. Right? It doesn't, because their games come out like what, 1 to 2 years later? So technically it doesn't really count. That Xbox games, if those exclusives are usually day one, Xbox and PC. Like, so unless PlayStation magically started putting out their fucking, first party titles on PC day and date, then you can make that argument. But
Yeah, I heard they were considering. I hope
they were thinking about it. Yeah, I saw that they said like a year ago that they were trying to make their PC. They were trying to move more into the PC
because I think they were
space or whatever.
surprised. They were surprised at the amount of PC sales.
Spider-Man, Spider-Man and God of War. Yeah,
they were like, "Wait, oh shit."
Yep. Look, man, whatever. I just don't want to buy consoles anymore. Every generation, I'm like, I just don't want to buy consoles. Like,
Same. I can't believe how full circle it
Less and
came when
less,
I was a
right?
kid. That was all I cared about that shit. Now I'm like, bro,
Yeah, because consoles were
I just
bleeding
like
edge.
video games.
Consoles were, yeah, it's like, I just want to, the crazy shit about it was, my argument was always this, right? People would be like, man, Xbox is better than PlayStation is better than Xbox, which is better
Oh
than
yeah, that
Nintendo,
tribal
blah, blah, blah.
shit. Yeah.
I don't care about any of that shit, bro. Wherever my games are at, that's what I'm buying. And I'm probably going to end up buying all of them because I want to play all games. Like, I don't care where the fuck, I don't care. Like, I don't understand. Like, that fanboy shit is so dumb to me. If you're a fan of games, you'd buy whatever console has a game that you want to play on it, period. Like, or you could do the normie shit wherever your friends are. But that's not me. I just like playing games.
Yeah, that was
Like-
definitely the normal shit.
Like,
Well, yeah, and the other thing too is usually people. You know why only people bought one consoles? Because most of us were poor and we all had to make the choice. But if we didn't have to make the choice, we would have all the consoles.
yeah, like, fortunately, I was just able to, like, 1 year I would get a PS2, and then I find
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
damn, next year there's a fucking Halo. There's Halo. I want to play Halo. Got the Xbox next year or whatever the fuck. Like, so, like, obviously your circumstances aside, right? If just play games. Like if you like games, play games. I bought a PS5 because I wanted to play Demon's Souls, right? Can't play it anywhere else. Couldn't play Ratchet anywhere else. I bought it, right? Couldn't play Returnal anywhere else. Bought it, right? I bought an Xbox One for Halo 5 because I couldn't play that shit anywhere else, right? There was a whole bunch of other shit on there, like Dead Rising 3. Fucking what was that? Rise Son of Rome. Those games weren't on PC yet. Couldn't play those games on PC, so I bought Xbox One. And then the next console, what is this? This new shit. At least their last shit had exclusive games. This shit don't got nothing. I mean, it might now, right? They're gonna have like the Bethesda games and fucking all that shit. A lot of the other Activision games, I'm sure, are gonna be fucking Xbox and PC, right? So now, if there's ever a time, it's probably gonna be now, right? Where they're gonna start having reasons to buy the fucking. We'll see. We'll see. It's a little late for that though. Like we're about how many years into the generation? It's a little late. But maybe this will be better for them next generation. Actually, you know what's kind of crazy? This is exactly how it was when they first got into fucking the console shit, right? Because the original Xbox, it had exclusives, right? But they were like, they were out there fucking like scrounging for fucking like, yo, you guys want to be on our console? We'll give you this amount of money if you're exclusive to our shit or whatever the fuck. Like, so now it's like it's full circle, right? It's like now they're trying to like, they're the underdogs again, right? So, because remember when Xbox was to Microsoft, the 360 came out, and then boom, that cemented them in games. And then the Xbox One shit itself. This Xbox Series, I don't really, I was doing. I feel like they're gearing up for some shit. Like that's all I'm saying. I'm not gonna sleep on them, it seems like they're gearing up.
Yeah. Right. I mean, we predicted this shit a while back, but the original Xbox was sort of my Dreamcast Part 2, though.
True, that is very true.
You know, so like I always appreciated the Xbox. I
had to buy the original Xbox.
That and KOTOR. Oh
yeah, but that wasn't like a console seller for me. Like when they announced Jet Set Radio was only going to be on Xbox, and fucking people started talking about Halo.
Oh no, not Shenmue.
They started talking about fucking Halo and all the other shit. I was like, okay, this is actually ridiculous. Fucking they had bought Rare, so we had gotten fucking. What was it? Conker's Bad Fur Day, Conker's Reloaded. We had hella shit. Like it was a lot of cool stuff on that console. But obviously they were definitely underdogs because PS2 and GameCube, you know, doing their thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see.
So what's next, Freak?
Well, I think when we're talking about like exclusivity and whatnot, I think you wanted to talk about Sega and them discussing moving. What was it?
Basically, Sega released like it was like a PowerPoint presentation to like, you know, it's show holders and kind of like their plans going on, and basically the gist of it. I mean, there was a lot of things that came out of it, like all those games that were kind of announced, like the Jet Set Radio. Like for example, in that presentation they announced that the new Jet Set Radio, they're trying to make it completely open world, which I think is a good decision, because that game was kind of like it was very small, hubby open world, but I could imagine just like a fully thought out city. Like it doesn't be like Grand Theft Auto wise, but kind of condensed and dense, and then you could just do tricks over anywhere, and then have it be a place where people can kind of log in and just skate together.
That's like the natural progression of that game, of that series.
Yeah, so, I think it's the natural progression of that game. So like, you know, there's that. Obviously, they released little details of all those other games. They also talked about how they were trying to question why they were doing horrible in the Europe marketplace, and they what
did they say about that?
So that. Let me see. I would actually need to bring it up to talk about it. So 1 second. But in the meantime, while I bring that up, the other thing is they are actually moving towards. Apparently, PC is selling really, really well for them, so they're trying to push simultaneous releases specifically with Persona. Now, if you guys are fans of that series, if a Persona game dropped on console, the game probably won't drop for PC years after. Like it's like really long.
Yeah, the thing was they never did because Yeah, like that's why I remember when Sega bought Atlas, I was like, yep, this means we're gonna get Persona on PC and shit. Because Sega, I don't think there's a lot of games from Sega that are always on PC. Right? Sega was always good with PC, but Atlas, you never saw any of their shit on PC until now. Like, so
right.
That's
so
good.
part of
yeah.
So part of that presentation was just like hey man, yeah, let's do this. Okay, hold on. I brought up the actual PowerPoint. Let me just find.
Like I'm looking through Steam, and it's like, yeah, all these games released like same day. It's just Persona, that juggernaut, bro. Like Persona 5.
So basically they're just focusing. They're talking about their 3-year plan and the 5-year plan. So basically they're going to strengthen the global branding of like Sonic, Persona. There's another thing which is Kanji. I'm not sure what the series is, and then Phoenix Star Online 2, which is actually
interesting.
And then within 5 years they want to create like a super game. So basically what they define as a super game is just like a game that kind of scales globally. And then they want to utilize past IPs, which is why we got this announcement of all these past games, you know?
Yeah, that's a really weird thing to say, that we want to make a super game. Like you don't go into it saying that. That's so weird to, like, all those games that usually end up like that, I feel like it wasn't the intention to make. Obviously, the intention was to make it good, right? But like, if I was a game dev, I wouldn't say, "Yeah, I'm gonna make this a super game." That kind of sets it up for failure. I don't know. That's a little weird. But go ahead, my fault. That's a little weird wording.
No. And then, so basically, they're just talking about like, oh, they're gonna focus on their IPs. So here we go. They're basically talking about the Europe thing, how they've been earning like less yen due to the performance of new titles from European studios, and they think it's because of like sluggish sales and bloated costs. I'm going through the PowerPoint.
True.
It's
Yeah. Those motherfuckers.
Yeah. So let me see. So I guess they're gonna, to fix that, they're gonna probably cancel some titles. And then they're gonna focus on like titles that focus on European tastes and proceed with like multi-platform support, and yeah. So I guess that's their goal for doing that.
Is it more of a case of taste or just the conversion of prices to euros?
Yeah, I think it's more of that, because European taste is basically just Western.
Yeah,
from what I've seen at least.
I mean. From the PowerPoints here, because this is like a 40-page PowerPoint, and then from there they're not exactly clear. I'm just kind of trying to make sense of.
It's weird because I think if you look at like best-selling games in Europe, it's like Western, but it's more targeted towards like, I guess you could say like the better games. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But the main thing the main thing also, like, about, you know how everything's being released on PC at the same time, but they're also stressing like worldwide simultaneous release, as in Europe, America, Asia, Japan.
Yeah.
Right. Everything comes at once.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So to me, that's good. They talk about the improvement in Sonic, Persona, and this third series, which I don't know what it is. And then they kind of talk about mobile games is growing, especially in China, in Asia, Latin America. So they're going to probably continue to do mobile games and stuff. So their main thing is like consoles, PC, and mobile. There's a lot of information, guys. It's out there. It's public. So that's kind of like their big plan. Obviously, they just acquired Angry Bird franchise. Was it Rovio?
Oh, Lord.
So yeah, they're probably going to focus on that. And yeah, I mean that's basically the gist of it. But yeah, it's a huge.
Here's what I need these motherfuckers. They gave me my Jet Set Radio, excellent, right? Perfect. They gave a Golden Axe, fucking Streets of Rage, all that shit, Crazy Taxi, excellent. Where the fuck? Get Atlas. They're gonna, because you know Sega's gonna milk out this Persona shit, because Atlas, they bought Atlas. You know they milking the fuck out. Get Atlas to make me a goddamn Skies of Arcadia, bro. Get somebody to make Virtua Fighter 6, bro. Like, Bring all that shit back. Like,
I know Virtual Fighter 6 is coming. I'm not worried about Virtual Fighter 6.
But like, put some fire into Nintendo's ass and get them to do fucking a new F-Zero game, because they work. Because I'm pretty sure they published the last F-Zero game. Like, get them to work on the next F-Zero game. The fuck out of here, bro. I want my shit. I don't like
despair.
I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. I don't want to hear it. I don't care. You can keep saying it. I don't give a fuck. Like, work on that game. You know what we're gonna get? We're gonna get Mario Kart 9. Like, that's what we're gonna get. Great, and hopefully Mario Kart 9 has some. Hopefully it's a blend of all that shit, because I don't care. I want less. I want Mario. I want the Mario Kart Double Dash or the Mario Kart Wii again, where they weren't afraid to do shit. Mario Kart 8 is just the most basic game ever. I love the game, excellent game, but I want the risky Mario Kart back, where it's bullshit and stupid. I want that shit. Like, it's fucked. That shit hella hard.
But I don't know. I'm kind of concerned because I think they're just trying to do too much and they don't actually have the manpower to do all these things at the same time. Well, yeah. And I'm kind of afraid because it's just like, especially like, all right, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When they announced Sega's doing the Streets of Rage, I kind of was not excited about it at all, and I'll tell you why. This feels very similar to the Sonic Mania situation. For those who don't understand what I mean when I say that, is that when Sonic Mania was developed, it wasn't actually developed by like Sega internally. Mm-hmm. It was developed by a bunch of fans who modded the game and loved Sonic or whatever, and they had a company and they hired those guys to work on the game. And that's why, like, when Sonic Forces and Sonic Mania, they both came out the same year. Right? And Sega was low key, and they may not ever admit this, but they were low key, a little salty that, specifically referring to Sonic Team, that the Sonic Mania did way better than Sonic Forces, right? And so then, you know, they kind of axed those guys, and then they made Sonic Superstars. Which Sonic Superstars is alright, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like,
Sonic
it's just
Superstars
like,
is not Sonic Mania. Not even fucking close. So yeah.
No, it's not. But I do like a lot of things about Superstars or whatever. At least it's way better than I thought. It's way better than I thought that they could do. Right. Yeah, but my thing is, if the people are making the game and it's a good game, just let them making the games. Like, I don't understand this concept.
This is a Japanese company, you're forgetting. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so the same situation happened again with Streets of Rage. So Streets of Rage 4 was not made by Sega internally. It was farmed out by a different company, and by fans of the series, and that game was widely well received overall. It did way better sales than they ever thought it could do, and blah blah blah, which is why we're getting this one. But this is made by Sega internally, and then they kind of made it like a 3D arena beat 'em up, which I don't know, it just kind of
they announced.
I'm not against the idea,
but right, because they announced Streets of Rage, what is it, Revolution or something, and they said that's the new game, and then they're also remaking the old ones, like the 1-to-1, the same way they're doing the other ones.
That wasn't clear. The only thing I see is the Streets of Rage Revolution.
I think that they put Streets of Rage. I don't remember where I read it,
because I'm looking at this PowerPoint right here.
Yeah. I think it was saying that Streets of Rage Revolution is the new game that they're making. And that the same way that they're doing Shinobi, which is basically like a 1-to-1 with the, like, you know, better graphics and whatnot, they're gonna do a previous Streets of Rage game like that. I think they're gonna have them as part of the collection. I don't know. I'm not sure. But
I don't know. It's not clear. It's not really clear. But for me, it's just like it's just kind of like the same thing where Sega's salty that another, but it's like, bro, like, if they did well, just let them do it again.
Let them do it again and try and do better.
You see, here's the problem though with that. Like, that makes sense, but I'm gonna say the same thing I said about Sonic Mania. Like, Sonic Mania was great because it was made by the fans, right? For fans of old classic 2D Sonic games, right? That doesn't mean that if Sega would have hired them to make, like, let's say Sonic Frontiers or whatever, that doesn't necessarily mean that they would have been great at making that type of game. Like, yeah, they made a game, a fan-made game, right? From a basically based off of games from like over a decade ago, 2 decades ago, right? Which I'm not gonna discredit the game. It's my favorite Sonic game of all time, right? But that's not hard to do, especially if you've been a fan. Well, listen, it's hard for Sega to do. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with them, but I don't think it's hard to do. Like, if anyone that's a fan of Sonic 3, 1, 2, 3, whatever the fuck, all you gotta do is go back and be like, what made these games good, and just do it again, right? That doesn't mean that you get that same team to make Sonic Frontiers. They would have made a great game. So the thing about Sega is Sega's still a company that wants to do new shit, right? They want to take some of these franchises and make them globally, like, you know, give them global appeal, right? And I understand, like, Streets of Rage. I love Streets of Rage. Everyone in here loves Streets of Rage, right? But Streets of Rage is still pretty niche, right? That's Sega's fault. That's their fault. Because Streets of Rage could have turned that shit into something ridiculous at this point.
Well,
but
and then they got a really strange opportunity right now because they're making a Streets of Rage movie right now. So if they tie that shit with the
if they do stuff like that, they'll be able to, like, you know, give it the popularity that it actually deserves. But I'm gonna make this point: Sega has never, ever been good at modernizing games. Like, they've never been good at it. I'm sorry. Like, I love them. I love Sega, but their biggest issue has always been the same. They're not good at taking something old and making it new and not be trash. They've done it with Sonic. They failed miserably in a lot of games, right? They've done it with I think the only stable series they've had is Yakuza, right? But think about it. Yakuza's been the same since the first game, technically, right? It's still the same. Like, they add a bunch of new shit. It looks great graphically. Story's amazing. But Yakuza hasn't really changed. The formula hasn't changed at all since the first game. So that's not hard. But Sonic, destroyed, right? I mean, I said destroyed. Obviously, it's booming now, right? But y'all know what I mean.
But Frontiers is the most success that they've had personally.
Yeah, because that game is decent. But
in a long while, like, you know, especially coming from
Sonic game we've had in a long time. Yeah. So
I think, like, as far as that transition goes, though, like, modernizing, like, the only thing that has been like any remotely successful has probably just been Shinobi, right? The PS2 Shinobi game, but that's, like, going way back, and it wasn't even like
years ago, though.
Yeah, it wasn't even like grand scale or anything. It was just like kind of like a niche.
Modernizing, you know? Like, when you say modernizing, it's more about that 360 PS3 era of games was the push to modernization. Yeah, like, because Sonic did not survive that generation. Sonic 06 was not good. Like, so there was something else. I'm trying to think. Sega and Capcom had that same issue during the generation where they were trying to do things that they were just not good at. And so Capcom went back and started doing the things that they were good at, and look at them now, right? Sega needs to go back, do the things that you were good at doing. Like, the fact that we don't have, like, don't get me wrong, I don't want to sound like a fucking drone, but the fact that we don't have Sonic Adventure 3 is actually retarded to me. Like, despite how you feel about it, the fact that game doesn't exist doesn't really make sense to me. Like, you have this formula, people loved it. Where is it? Like, why? What the fuck? So, Sega had a lot of those crazy ass, like, fun arcade games, right? And I feel like they never grew out of that era. Like, the new Streets of Rage to me just looks like, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it because I know
it looks like
Streets of Rage,
it looked like Die Hard Arcade, but
not to compare it specifically to another game, but like it looks like looks like some budget shit. If you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like,
no, it does. That's why.
That doesn't look like, oh, we want to make Streets of Rage modern. Yeah,
the shit. It looks like a half-ass attempt right now.
So, I mean, Nintendo's kind of spoiled us in that aspect, right? Because, like, when Nintendo does something and it's new, it's just kind of like it looks quality. It doesn't have, and you know what I mean? I know what you mean, like, by because like Nintendo, low budget, right?
Here's the thing: Sega has never had as much respect for their own IPs as Nintendo has had for the entirety of their existence. Nintendo knows what Mario is. They know what Metroid is. They know what, like, don't get me wrong. Yeah, we don't have Metroid Prime 4, whatever the fuck you want to say about it. But the last Metroid games we've gotten have been great. Right? When a Metroid game does come out, they're fucking great, right? When a Mario Kart game does come out, it's great. When Smash does come out, eventually, they're always good, right? Because they have respect for their own IPs. They were just pumping out Sonic games like left and right, bullshit game here, bullshit game there, just left and right, over and over and over again. Like, that's not respect. Like I feel like Sonic. They should take Sonic, put him on a back burner like fucking Nintendo does for Mario, and fucking make a quality game. You have all these IPs. You have Jet Set Radio, which I don't understand. How the fuck do you not have a modern Jet Set Radio? That is the perfect game to modernize.
It took another company to make a similar game for them to be like.
This always happens to them. Like,
yeah,
and it's like Streets of Rage 4
pride.
was great, right? But it was still not like that game. If someone didn't know what Streets of Rage was and they weren't really like a gamer like that, they would probably look at that game and be like, yeah, I'll pass, right? So they could easily just make like, hey, here's my thing, right? People probably gonna hate it, whatever. But this is my opinion because I love Streets of Rage, but I'm not like crazy over it. Why not just if you're gonna make a 3D Streets of Rage game, why not just go take some fucking hints from the game that you already make? You have Yakuza, you idiots. Like Yakuza is basically a 3D beat 'em up. Hello, like make a game that looks cool like that. That's multiplayer, and boom, you save some money. Bring the assets over, you save some money. Don't make some half-ass looking game. Like I'm sorry, when I saw that was the least excited out of those 4 games they showed. That was the least excited
my heart fucking sank. You have no idea.
Jet Set Radio looks
You're
cool.
a Streets of Rage fan. I'm like die hard.
I understand that.
So,
I get it, but even as a casual Streets of Rage fan, I was like, this doesn't look like what I'd want it to look like. Like.
To be honest, I would have been happier if they're like, hey, it's in development, blah, 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 but didn't release anything.
Like Jet Set Radio looks like what I want it to look like. Golden Axe looks cool. Crazy Taxi looks like Crazy Taxi.
Jet Set Radio seems the most developed out of all of those titles.
It probably makes the most sense because it's the one we haven't seen in the past fucking decade. So
give me that new Ultra Beast. I feel like I'm the only one that's looking forward to that.
Yeah, cool. You're the only one.
That's cool too, but like, I don't know, man. Sega's not really good, like I said, at modernizing their. They have the stable, bro. Like, if anyone,
and they have strong IPs, bro. Like,
they just
now it's kind of fucked up. I kind of just want Nintendo to buy Sega, so then they just work on their IPs. Is that fucked up to say?
No, because if you think about it, the only reason, because I'm trying to think of like Sega exclusive IPs, right? And if you go back to like the Dreamcast, a lot of the games that made the Dreamcast hot were not Sega games. They weren't like Sega published games. It was Capcom stuff. You know what I'm saying? It was like random ass. It was like they had like
it was a lot of arcadey stuff.
It was a lot of like random JRPGs. Yeah, a lot of arcade games. Like the only games that like did Sega publish Ready to Rumble Boxing? Ready to Rumble Boxing, like Sega Bass Fishing, Sonic Adventure, blah blah blah, all that shit, right? Because I'm thinking about all the games I played on Dreamcast. A lot of them were not Sega games. Like Power Stone was not a Sega game. Like
that's Capcom.
Capcom
actually put in. Actually, Capcom put on a lot of work for the Dreamcast.
Yeah, they did. Like it had Phantasy Star, which
Phantasy Star. Oh my god!
Let's not talk about example of sitting on an IP that could literally be the world right now if they weren't so fucking stupid. Like we're in an era where we have Final Fantasy 14, we have WoW, we have all these MMOs that Riot's making an MMO, right? We have like it's a thriving, like MMOs were at a point where they were like, right? It was kind of like stifling, kind of like we just had WoW and WoW was whatever. I didn't play it back then. I don't know. But like Phantasy Star, you could make the argument it's probably the easiest thing to modernize. It's a sci-fi fucking game, right? Sci-fi RPG. We don't have many of them, right? We were just talking about this before. We don't have many sci-fi RPGs, right? Why not just put the budget in the Phantasy Star? Let that shit be your super game. Like make an MMO, like how FF14 is literally carrying Square. Like bro, like, that could be your super game.
It could, but yeah, well, everyone should love that shit, but not because of how the Phantasy Star whatever the fuck it was.
That game sucked.
Was not the game.
Why.
Yeah, that was not the game I was kind of looking for when, you know. But I love the Phantasy Star universe. Like it's so interesting.
Of course,
like
it's dope. Like bro, that. If let's say you just looked at Phantasy Star, what was it, New Genesis or whatever? Let's say you just looked at that game from the outside. When they announced that game, we saw it. We were like, wow, this looks fucking. Then you play it, and there's literally no content in the game. It's literally just them trying to milk money from the people that were the whales in Phantasy Star Online 2, buying skins, buying whatever the fuck they was buying in the game, all that stupid shit. And it's like, bro, you had the potential right there, because that was right when FF14 blew up, right? And if you think about it, that's what a lot of people were like in getting into the MMO genre would have probably been like, oh yeah, this is another game that's just like it. And more people would probably be into sci-fi than, you know, weeb shit in FF14. Because everyone loves to say, you know what's funny as shit though? Everyone loves to say,
but Phantasy Star is pretty weeby though.
Exactly. Like everyone loves to say FF14 is the weeb game, but Phantasy Star is the weeb game. Like I don't know, but it's just cool. Like sci-fi is never not like cool. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Like come on, guys. Like Sega's always disappointed me in that aspect. Sega has always disappointed me, like how Capcom disappointed me last generation. Well, generation before last. Like and it's like Capcom came back. It's Sega's turn. Come on, man.
I want them to come back, bro.
Sega needs to go back to that Sega does what Nintendo don't era of, you know, they don't give a
well, now it needs to be Sega does what Nintendo do, because
exactly. True. To be fair, they always did. Like they everything that they did was in response to what Nintendo was doing. They made a 2D platformer. Mario went 3D, they made a 3D platformer. You know what I'm saying? Like they always did. That whole line with that whole slogan was bullshit. Like like they were always chasing after Nintendo. Period. Like most of these motherfuckers are, and they always will. Like why do you think we had fucking the PlayStation? What was that fucking the little dildo fucking vibrator that fucking PlayStation made? That was like the Wii motion controls. Like we had the Kinect,
the move controllers.
Like the move controller. We had that shit. Like everyone's always chasing after Nintendo. Come on, man. That's what they were. Like,
oh man.
Everyone just like remember Sonic. What was Follow's favorite Sonic game? Fucking Sonic Lost World. Like, come on, bro.
You know that wasn't.
That game was literally trying to be Mario Galaxy. Like, come on. Sega always does what Nintendo does.
Yeah.
They just need to do it well.
They need to do better.
Like, they just need to do it well. Like, I don't know.
All right, y'all.
Sega, bro. I hope y'all step it up, man.
Yeah, man. I can't wait.
You can't let Persona carry you.
Let's see what happens with the release of that the collection thing that they're doing, man. It's definitely gonna be like $70.
They even fucked that up. They fucked that up. Like that's like I'm gonna rant about that because everyone's like, man, why are you mad? You got a new Jet Set Radio, but that announcement was shit. Like
it was shit.
I want to.
They spent.
It feels like.
Half-assed. It feels half-assed. Let's just be real.
Do we know what it is? Are they all separate games, or is this just a collection of bullshit?
I think it's going to be a collection.
They're all
I think they're going to charge $70 for it. There's no way it's separate games. No. I think it's $70 for like a full collection.
They kind of have to be separate games. I feel like they just have limited space at the Game Awards. I feel like they have limited space at the Game Awards, and they just wanted to.
So they just wanted to announce all that shit. But then the only and then here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? So they announced all those games, but the only game we really cared about at that time was Virtua Fighter 6. Even Harada was like, bro, what?
True. But I did say,
you know what I'm saying?
I did say, and a lot of people did say that, like, after that Jet Set video earlier in the year, and after Bomb Rush Cyberpunk came out, we knew they were going to announce Jet Set Radio. Like, they had to. Like, so I don't think that they announced that as a collection. They said that that's their initiative to push, like, to bring back those classic games or whatever.
Those classic games as like
I think they're all separate games. But
they're all separate games. But
made it seem like these. We don't really care about these games. We're just making them because you want them.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Like it felt like, well, you guys are happy. You guys been complaining for years. Here's your fucking game. Versus like, nah, this has come back, bro.
And the reason I'll say that they're probably all separate games because Jet Set Radio leaked 2 years ago, right? Yeah. All these other things didn't. All those other games didn't leak. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't hear anything.
Who knows? A hacker might be hacking Sega next, so who knows?
Sega might be next.
That's what I'm saying. I want a Sega hack, bro. Like, shit, give me a Capcom and Sega hack. Give me a Square Enix hack. Hello?
Nah,
that's what I want.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yoshi P gonna put the hit out.
Shit, we got FF14 Fan Fest in 2 weeks. Like, hack that shit. I want to know what they. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like,
it'll be hacked the day before.
Yeah, right.
All right, guys. But I think that's gonna be it for this episode, right, guys. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And stay tuned for future episodes. We got a lot coming down the pipe. But this was the holiday episode. Stay tuned for the end of the year episode, which is going to be dropping next week. And there's just so much more that I can't even reveal right now because it's still in the works. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Stay tuned next week. End of the year, possibly our own award show kind of feel. Let's see what's up. Stay tuned. You never know what's gonna happen. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a good night. Have a happy holidays.